Good morning. It's Christopher Taylor with Sovereign Harmony up on the hill. It is Sunday, February 15th. We're going to do the astrology for the 15th to the 21st-ish. Busy week. This might be the most potent astrological week I've ever done one of these. I've been doing these a little over a year now, and I think this is the most potent week. We have some big energies happening. We just had Saturn enter Aries a couple days ago on Friday, February 13th. That is now in conjunction with Neptune, okay? Huge deal. We'll talk about that. It's going to be exact later this week. But first, I want to talk about entering eclipse season. So on Tuesday, the 17th, we have what's called an annular eclipse. This is when the moon is in front of the sun, but it leaves a ring of fire around the sun, okay? Unless you're in Antarctica, you're not going to really see this one, and that's okay, but it's still going to have some significant effects. This one is very intense. It's at almost 29 degrees Aquarius. It's squaring the modern ruler of Aquarius, Uranus, which is in Taurus. Big shake-up energy. I talked about this the last couple of weeks. So things are going to shake up. This might not play out until we get into the summer when the moon's north node actually enters Aquarius from Pisces. That'll stimulate this point. So that'll be late July, early August. But anytime from this week until then, we could have some shakeups, okay? And this could be shakeups, especially in the U.S. with this eclipse landing right on the U.S.'s moon, the natal moon from the signing of the Declaration of Independence in 1776. The fact that it's the 250th anniversary this year could be some significant things happening here. And the fact that it's going to peak, it could peak around even in July, right? And that would be the 4th of July celebration. So things to think about. Could be some breakdowns in the economy with Uranus and Taurus. It's in its final weeks, essentially. It'll enter Gemini in April. So it's in its final weeks in Taurus here. It's been in Taurus since 2018. So look out for those shakeups, both collectively and also personally. You know, where does this eclipse land in your chart? I can help you with that. If you want a personal reading, we do that. It's going to be some pretty noticeable shakeups. And again, this opens up the eclipse window. There'll be an eclipse on March 3rd. That'll be a total lunar eclipse in Virgo. I won't talk about it here today. We'll leave that for a couple weeks from now. But this eclipse window, going back to September, the last eclipse window, we had 2 eclipses then. That was really entering us into a phase of a chrysalis where we were like the caterpillar going into the chrysalis, turning to the goo phase. We've been in that since then. These eclipses are taking us out of that and into that butterfly phase, okay? And so that is what we're facing. With this eclipse, it's also widely conjunct Venus on the north node. So the north node is part of the eclipse, but it's out of sign. It's in Pisces. It's not in Aquarius where the eclipse is, and that's okay. But Venus will be right on that north node in Pisces when this happens. And what that says is really like whatever the shakeups are, follow our intuition, follow our hearts. Our hearts are aligned with our future. That's the Venus aligned with the north node. Trust that. Trust the intuition and understand that any shakeups that happen are supposed to happen, and they're going to eventually lead us to where we actually want to go on a soul level. Our egos might not like it, but that's okay. Okay, we are entering this butterfly phase. That's significant. So that's going to allow us to float out of that chrysalis and into the future. Okay, so big energy with that. Also, this week we have Saturn making the exact conjunction to Neptune at 0 degrees Aries. Now, technically, both planets are now at 0 degrees Aries. They're close enough to be considered a conjunction, so the conjunction is happening now. And it's been happening for the last few days. It'll be exact on Friday, and depending on what orb you use, if you use a 1-degree orb, it's going to last until about that total lunar eclipse in early March. If you use like a 3-degree orb, we're talking about the end of March. But doesn't matter. This is huge. Saturn conjunct Neptune. I've been talking about this for months. I did a talk at the San Diego Astrological Society meeting back in April, talking about this, talking about the cycle in general, Saturn, Neptune, and what this one could mean, okay? 10 months later, here we are, and it's happening. Go to my YouTube if you are not on it. It's Christopher Taylor - Sovereign Harmony Astrology. Look for Saturn, Neptune conjunction at 0 degrees Aries. It's a long video. I break it up into a playlist if you want to watch it like that, but it goes over the significance of this, okay? This is societal evolution, steps of societal evolution. It's a 36-year cycle roughly. The last one we had was in Capricorn. That was in 1989 when the Berlin Wall fell. And that was the end of the cycle that began in 1952, which was the start of the Iron Curtain, the Cold War era, okay? And every Saturn-Neptune conjunction, you can go back and back, and I'll do a special on that at some point. But the point is, it's extremely significant. You might get 2 in a lifetime. Most people, the average person, might see 2 Saturn-Neptune conjunctions in a lifetime. Some people get 1. To get 3 is pretty rare. Like I was 10 years old in 1989 when the Berlin Wall fell, when the Saturn-Neptune conjunction in Capricorn happened and started globalism, which is dying right now, which we'll get back to. And now this will be my second one. And if I make it to 2061, which is going to be the next one, it'll be a Saturn-Neptune conjunction in Gemini in the year 2061. Then I'll be about 82 at that point. So maybe I make it, maybe I don't. But the point is, most people get about 2. If you get 3, it's because you were young the first one you had. Okay, just like I was, only 10 years old in 1989. These are hugely significant, hugely. This one here at 0 degrees Aries is like a clean slate. Okay, what are we going to create as individuals? Because it's bringing back the responsibility for our consciousness to the individual. That's what Saturn-Neptune conjunction in Aries, especially at the 0 degrees point, is. So we can see what's collapsing in the previous cycle, the Saturn-Neptune conjunction from Capricorn. All of that top-down power is collapsing as we speak in real time. Okay, whether you're talking about the Epstein files or whatever it is. Okay, there are already arrests happening in other countries, not in the U.S. so much yet, but in other countries there are high-level officials getting arrested for their association with that. Okay, and so we're beginning to see the stage of accountability, personal accountability. That's Saturn and Aries in general. Saturn will be in Aries for 2 years, till about April of 2028. So we're going to see a lot of personal accountability over the next couple of years. But with its association with Neptune at the 0 degrees Aries point and setting off this new stage of societal evolution that'll last until 2061, it really is about bringing back, again, that responsibility to the individual, the sovereign individual. We've spent the last 36 years having this attempt at globalism, this attempt at sweeping everything under one umbrella, getting all the, since the Cold War ended, it was like, all right, let's gather all the nations together. So we saw a big rise in like the World Health Organization, the World Economic Forum, the UN, etc. And we're watching that kind of lose its power. Like, for example, we just had the US pull out of the IPCC, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, which really requires U.S. funding to even exist. And that has been like the anchor of our paradigm of climate change since the late 80s, right when Saturn conjuncted Neptune in Capricorn, okay? And it has not been based on a lot of science, honestly, and I won't go into that here. I do go into that in that video that I go over the Saturn-Neptune conjunction. It's a long video. Like I said, it's in the playlist on my YouTube. Do watch it. I do talk about that in more depth. So you can look at that. But that is falling apart. Anything that supports the globalist idea or a reason to create a globalist paradigm is collapsing. Okay, so that whole concept behind the IPCC is collapsing. Okay, so we're watching that real time. We're getting our power back with Pluto and Aquarius, with this Saturn-Neptune conjunction at 0 degrees Aries. It's our responsibility on an individual level. Stop being propagandized, because Neptune is out of Pisces now. It can't be propagandized like we had been the last 11 or 14 years, since about 2011, 2012. And it is up to us to discern information now as individuals, realize we have more in common with each other as individuals and nothing in common with that top that is collapsing right now. Okay, understand that it is collapsing for a reason, but we're going to find a new way in these next 36 years to use the technology we have and to form a new kind of a sense of governance, self-governance, that doesn't involve a top-down power that is just going to use our tax money to abuse children, for example, or abuse anything, abuse the law system and get away with things. Okay, that is falling apart, and we are building something up. It's just the beginning. It's not going to happen overnight, but we are in this phase now over the coming years. So if you have any questions, please let me know. It's a lot to drop on you, but it is significant. It is what it is. Okay, again, look at my YouTube channel. It's Christopher Taylor - Sovereign Harmony Astrology. I go deep into that Saturn-Neptune conjunction cycle, etc. And if you're not, if you're not on YouTube, do subscribe to that. If you're on TikTok, do like, subscribe, etc. On Instagram, same thing. Facebook, whatever it is you're on, do that. If you're interested in looking at your personal chart, I do personal readings. We can see where all this intense energy is happening for you, where things are turning. Other than that, if you have any questions, please, comment, whatever you want to do. Otherwise, enjoy your Sunday, enjoy your week, and we'll see you next time.